So our last sort of philosopher that we're going to look at, who's that?
Aristotle. Plato was the student of Socrates, and Aristotle was the student, attended Plato's academy, which he had set up in Athens. He was born in 384 before the Common Time, BC. When he was 17, he went to study at Plato's academy in Athens. He remained there for 20 years as both a pupil and a teacher. He was a devoted pupil and friend of Plato's. In later years after Plato's death, Aristotle's teaching went in a different direction. He continued to be influenced by the teachings of Plato, but his thought became more scientific as he grew older. He became interested in proof and the principle of cause and effect. That's why he's called the father of science. He left Athens and spent 3 years tutoring the young Alexander the Great. The writing of Aristotle can be divided into 3 main periods: the period of time with Plato, the period of his time in Mytilene, and in the Lyceum in Athens. You might need to remark on that. Life apart from the body is the soul's normal state. In his second period, he began to move away.
What does that mean? Life apart from the body is the soul's normal state.
In the ideal that it's in your mind, that your senses were not to be trusted.
Right, so he was like Plato and thought you couldn't trust your senses.
The real life is the soul. The life of the soul, not the life of the senses.
So not what is your physical body confines you to, that there's more to life than just what you can see, taste, touch, feel, that's the constraints of the physical body, but the spiritual or the soul went beyond that.
Yes.
Okay.
In his second period, he began to move away from these Platonic beliefs. He became more critical of the teaching of
and Platonic beliefs, that means Plato beliefs taught by Plato.
Yes.
Okay.
He became more critical of the teaching, particularly Plato's theory of ideas. And in his third period, Aristotle became interested in empirical experiments based on experience and scientific thought. He wanted to bring out experiments, not just to think them. So he's called the father of science. He believed there was only one whiteness, one treeness, one justice. But he called Plato called these ideas, but Aristotle renamed them as forms. Aristotle went on to develop a theory of form and matter. The idea of treeness was the form, the actual tree was the matter. Its physical manifest, that makes something unique and are its physical characteristics. Its physical characteristics that makes it unique. They're not just an illusion. He moved beyond Plato in his recognition that we know the world through the senses. He believes in the principle of form and matter. Everything has both form and matter, and both are equally important.
So form is the idea, thinking of the tree, and matter is the actual physical tree itself. Yes. So he's going into that the senses are important also. Yes. That it's not just they're not just what you think.
They're an important part of the reality. He recognized his contribution to scientific thought and principles, that you have to actually prove things and use experiments to prove one thing causes another.